Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. We are here with Roosevelt Pottery. I am super excited to have you here. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe to my videos. I will be posting every Thursday, so I will have new content. As of today, I'm super excited. So I decided that this post, I wanted it to be something pretty cool because I've been telling you guys I was gonna start a YouTube channel for God knows how long now, and I haven't. So here we go, and it's happening, and we're doing it every Thursday. This is my goal. It's gonna happen. Okay, so this week, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a video on throwing, it's a B-mix clay. I will step by step tell you everything that I'm doing. That's what we're doing today. At the very end result of this, I want to do a full series for the next few weeks. Today I will be throwing, the next video we will be trimming, glazing. This is going to be a crystalline glaze. So the whole step process, we're going to try it because I've never done crystalline pottery before. So if it sucks and it doesn't work, you guys will be the first to know and what not to do. But anyways, it'll be showing you the whole step process of how to throw, how to trim, the whole thing. So as of today, we're going to throw the pots and let's go get started. All right, you guys, we're in the studio. I have it all cleaned up and we are ready to go. I have a bag right here of B-mix. Let's lower this guy. So this right here is B-mix from Laguna Clay Company. This is one of my favorites. I use this and I use the speckled buff. So this Laguna is, it's the cone 5 B-mix. I fire to a cone 6. Kind of just depends on what you want to do. It goes 5-6. So I think it's great and it works perfect for what I need. So this is what we're going to use. We're just going to open this baby up. So I have my little book that I write everything down of how much clay to use for literally everything. So I have been testing out how much clay to use for these urns, and my favorite size that I have come across, let's get there, is about 1.5 pounds for a small urn, for 3 inches by 3 inches. So that's where we're gonna go. So you guys, I have my clay, I have a scale that I'm going to be measuring, so everything that I pull off, I'm just going to do chunks. I'm going to make about, let's see, probably 5 of these just because this is a test, so I don't know how these are going to turn out. So we're going to start right there, turn my scale on, and we want 1.5 pounds of clay. I don't have a pug meal. I am not that lucky. One of these days, I really hope that I get one. So, and I don't want to go over 1.5 pounds, so I like to take the tops off if they're a little over. If it's just like 1 pound, 0.7, it's really not that big of a deal. But if it's like 1.10, I don't want that much clay. This can be used for something else. I don't like wasting clay because I don't have a pug mill. So it makes it really hard to recycle clay. And as of right now, I don't recycle my clay. With it just being me, it would take me so long to recycle. So one of these days, I want to get a pug mill that recycles it. But for right now, I don't have it, and I also don't have the time, so it's one of those things that I make sure to use exactly how much I need because I don't want to be overspending. Clay's expensive. We don't want to do that. And we don't want to waste it. So I have 4. Let's see. I need 1 more. All right, so we have 5. Let's put this back in here. this so you can see. All right, so now I'm going to wedge these, and they're just little squares for right now, and we're just gonna wedge them. I do what they call a ram's head wedging. So I'm just gonna do this really fast, and if you guys want a tutorial on how to hand wedge, let me know in the comments so that I can know what you guys wanna see. What this does is it gets out all the air bubbles. You don't want any air bubbles while you're throwing. It makes it terrible and it causes a lot of issues. There's so many different ways to wedge. This is the only way I've ever been taught, so I don't know how to do the other ones, but it works really good. That's my wedge. So now I'm just going to do these other ones. So first things first, we are going to get the clay centered onto the wheel. So we want this to be very even. We don't want it to be wobbly at all. So we're just going to sit here and center this first part. Sometimes using a sponge helps. Just get it wet a little bit and then you can really center that pot. Now we're just going to press this down and get ready to open our pot. Once we have our pot opened, we want to compress that middle part. We don't want any S cracks or any kind of cracking at all, so we are going to compress it. Now that our pot is compressed, we are going to make our first pull. So we are just going to hold this down and pull up. And from here, we're just going to make a few pulls until we feel like our thickness is good and our height is good. Now that our height and our thickness is where we want it, we're going to start slowly shaping this pot to what we want it to look like. Now, with this being a little keepsake urn, it depends on however you want to shape yours. It goes for the same for all lidded pots. This one's going to be a keepsake urn, so I want the top of it to be very pulled in and it just have a tiny opening. I don't want a huge opening. So I'm just going to slowly bring the top in to give it that good shape. Now that I have the shape that I generally want, I need to get rid of this excess clay. All of this is going to be just something that I would end up trimming off eventually, and the less trimming, the better. So I'm just going to take this clay off. All right, and now that that's all cleaned up, I have a flat rimmed tool, and I'm just going to use that to make the gallery, which is what my lid is going to sit on. So I just take that flat part and lightly press down onto the rim. You don't need a huge gallery. It will make your pot's lid look weird. So honestly, just a little teeny tiny lip on the top of that rim is what works the best. And I like to clean mine up. I don't want any sharp parts. Once this is all done, I just want it to be all smooth. And then we're gonna take our measuring tool for that lid. Yeah, I got a little weird with this part. I don't know what I was doing. But anyways, we just measure this little top part. And then the other side of this will measure how big the lid needs to be. And then we can take it off. So I'm going to use my wire cutter and we can finally cut that bottom off of the bat. All right, you guys, so this is what our finalized pot looks like. We have the gallery in there, so it's getting ready for the lid. It is about 3 inches, maybe a little bit more. It will shrink in the kiln, so I usually make them a little bit bigger than 3 inches. So now we can do the lid. You always want to do the lid right after the pot because you have that measurement. So now we are going to throw that lid, and the lid only takes a few seconds. So once we get the lid onto the bat, we want to almost center it just like we did for the pot. We don't want a wobbly lid either. So we're going to center it and press it down. And when I open my lids, I compress almost at the same time. Just because it's so little, it's such a small space that you don't really need to do a huge open. You'll have way too big of a lid. So we're just going to compress this lid, make sure there's no air bubbles. We don't want a weird, bumpy air bubbled lid. And then we're going to compress the side and make our first little pull just to get it to the size that we need to match that pot. So I forgot one of my tools way across the room. So I had to go grab that. But since this top got a little wobbly, we are going to take one of my tools. It's a little wooden pin tool. And we're going to take that and just trim off this top to make it even. We don't want anything wobbly or else the lid won't fit perfectly. So the trick is to watch your tool, and we just want to take that part off, and then we're going to regroup this rim and fix it up so then it is straight. So that is it for these ones. We're just going to kind of clean this up and get it looking nice, and then we can take it off the bat. We always want to take our pots off the bat. And in the next video, we will be showing how to trim this.